Know this about the jungle. Everything you see wants to kill you, and can. What seems cute and innocent with their furry skin and large round eyes could kill you within seconds. Hiding underneath their cute paws are 5-inch razor sharp claws that can slice you into several pieces. Hold on tight as we take you through this horrific story that shows what grizzly bears are capable of. This story is the account of wildlife photographer Buck Wild. Just like any other wildlife photographer, he was very well aware of the risks that he was involved in. There is a reason why the man chose to live far from the forest. Buck would make sure that everything was in place so that he could be as safe as possible in the wild. It was a cold morning on the 3rd of October, 1992, at the Glacier Granite Park backcountry campsite. Buck got his camp up and was preparing breakfast to start his day. He soon caught sight of a small bear that disappeared quickly. Buck got his senses up. He could hear the sounds of what seemed like a much larger beast. He quickly made sure that his camp did not have any food around, which would attract the predators. Buck did not let his photographer instincts down. He quickly picked up his camera and decided to follow the trail. What seemed like any other day for Buck was soon going to take a diversion. Footprints and crunch sleeves were not the only things that the bears left on their trail. There was a blue baseball cap left on the ground. Buck grew cautious and stopped. Even though he was cautious, he hoped that it was just someone who lost their cap. Buck looks ahead to find a set-up tripod. The camera was neatly placed in a bag away from the tripod. Buck starts to feel tense. As he went up the trail, he stopped again. This time, the scene was horrifying. There was a warm pool of blood which was over a foot wide. He knew that something must have happened here. The blood was warm, which meant that the incident was fairly recent. Buck, with utmost cautiousness, goes further down the path. Buck noticed markings in the dirt that looked like a body sweeping off claw marks. Every step Buck took was with the utmost care. Yet he had to move at a pace to make sure that he could save the life of the victim if he was still alive. The trail keeps getting bloodier and more disturbing. It was no longer just blood and claw marks. There were pieces of human flesh and clothing. Coins were scattered along the trail. Buck was courageous. He was equipped with bear spray. This was not the first time Buck had come across bears. There was an incident where Buck saved himself with his spray from a charging Kodiak bear. Keeping it handy and moving forward, Buck came across a boot, and quite close to it, the body of a man. The body was severely disfigured. The body seems to have chunks of flesh torn apart. Buck scans the area for danger and realizes that he is safe. For now. Buck quickly went down to the man and checked for his pulse, hoping for the best. There was nothing he could do but notice that the blood gushing out of the man was much darker. The lack of pulse and the dark blood suggested the worst. But Buck's experience gave him the slightest of hope to make him feel that his life could be saved. Buck sprung into action. He sprinted with all his ability back along the trail. He quickly picked up his backpack, which had a coat in it. The coat could make sure that the man's body could remain warm, increasing his chances of survival. Buck made it back to where the man was lying. Buck was completely out of his breath as he reached back. Whatever breath remained was taken away as he couldn't find the body. Instead, all that was left was a pool of blood on the ground. The trail led to deeper woods. Buck knew that it wasn't wise to follow the trail any further, as he may as well get the same fate as the unfortunate man. He thought the best thing to do now was to prevent anyone from going down that path. Buck wrote a small note which asked those who read it to get out of there as soon as possible and had instructions on how to use bear spray. Buck left the bear spray and the note next to each other on the trail that the bear left behind. From there, he went straight to the Granite Park Chalet. As he arrived at the chalet, Buck came across some hikers. He told them about what he had just seen and warned them against walking down the trail. He advised them that it's better to go back towards Logan's Pass to take the Highline Trail for their way out. Before they left, Buck wrote another note and gave it to them to pass along to a ranger. The note read, "Help. Discovered signs of bear mauling about 1.25 miles down the chalet backcountry campsite. Followed another 1/4 mile and found a body. He was in bad shape but still alive. Went back to get a coat to cover him and body was gone. Met these people at the chalet. I plan to stay here for 2 reasons. One is to turn people back towards Logan Pass, and 2 is to make sure that the National Park Services are alerted about the incident and where I saw the victim last." Buck heads to the chalet from where he can have a large view. Using his binoculars, he constantly scanned for more hikers that could come up the trail, or even worse, more grizzly bears. A few hours later, 2 rangers arrived at the chalet in their helicopter. They tell Buck that some hikers had come across the note and can of spray left behind by Buck at the trail. Those hikers quickly informed the rangers. Charlie Logan, who was a park ranger, along with his partner, quickly asked Buck about what had happened and more specifics about the incident. Soon after that, the rangers loaded their shotguns with heavy slugs, ready to face whatever came next. Buck joined them to lead them down the trail. The trio soon reached where Buck last saw the man's body. They followed the bloody trail and soon found the body. It was much worse than what Buck had seen before. The body seems to have been fed on. Dirt has been spread all across the body, which is something grizzly bears do to help mask their scent. The rangers quickly go back to investigate the location where Buck found the backpack and the camera. They made notes and headed back to the man. The enormous grizzly bear was not finished with the man. The bear charged up the trail against the man, but they remained calm. Ranger Logan drew his shotgun and was ready to fire if the bear got any closer. The bear turned around and ran away. They realized that it was a mother bear and noticed her cubs further away. The situation was much worse than they initially thought. They head back to the Granite Park Chalet to form a plan. The very next day, a search and rescue helicopter joins them. The heavy snowfall did not help them at all. However, the grizzly bear was soon spotted. They noticed the collar marking on the bear, which made it easy to identify. Logan ordered 3 more rangers to join them as they tried to retrieve the body. A total of 6 rangers, of which the 6th would stay on the lookout on the helicopter as the other 5 attempted to go on foot and retrieve the body. The helicopter pilot warned everyone as the grizzly bear was getting close to them. The pilot was ordered to make close flybys over the bears to scare them away. The grizzlies would run away for a few seconds and then head back towards the body. Things were getting frustrating for the rangers. The bears did not seem to back up no matter what. It took numerous more flybys to finally intimidate the grizzlies into backing off. In the next 20 minutes, the man's body was loaded up to the helicopter. The investigation suggests that it could be very likely that the man had startled the bear, intentionally or unintentionally. The mother only did as expected. She attacked the man to protect her cubs and later decided to provide food for them. The man was identified as John Petrani, a 40-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin. John Petrani used to travel often and spend a few weeks every year exploring the wilderness. It was on the last day of his stay at the glacier that he met his tragic end. Soon, a tough decision had to be made. After tracking down the mother and her cubs for 9 days, the rangers put them down. They pose a threat to hikers as they find how easy of a target they are. The cubs are also likely to learn from their mother's hunting patterns. However, the final report stated that the rangers were not fully confident that the mother bear and the cubs they shot were the ones that killed John. Could it be likely that the real predators were still roaming, waiting for easy prey like John? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting stories.